Hey everybody, it's me, Andrew. Get out into nature and tune in for yourself. Resonate with the Earth's electromagnetic field via 432 Hertz, the universal frequency. Balance out psychologically and emotionally, and further strengthen your brain and your heart's coherence as well. Get a plant-based diet going for yourself today and nurture yourself right back into life. We are literally herbivores in nature. Further balance out your physical body's pH level and get with alkalinity. Then you can generate some static electricity. Send me some love telepathically. Set attention to your mind and set intention to communicate. That is all there is to telepathy. You are now tuning in to great days. Now today I'm going to continue with the element of ether. This is actually going to be the second episode of this teaching or this series, and there's a very special guest to pretty much accompany and explain ether as best as they can, which is literally a great explanation because of the experience that this person has with the element itself. So I'm actually going to get into it. Alright, so today's video is Ether, the fifth element, part 2, featuring Sadhguru. Now, so if you do not know, Sadhguru, he's a literal guru. He's from India, obviously. He is a Hindu. He is a guru. He is a mystic. He is a yogi. He is an author. He is of a lot of different things. Okay, he's a very brilliant man. He has a lot of education, a lot of experience. He's lived many lives. He is very mystical in nature, and he is my guru. Okay, me and him have established this. Obviously, guru connections don't specifically need to be in person, but due to the fact that they are literally spiritual beings, you can hold a very strong and profound spiritual connection to a guru, which is what I keep with this man, and we literally telepathically communicate all the time. Okay, so also, there's a lot of spatial beings that I am actually able to perceive right now due to the fact that I am in a heightened connection with Sadhguru spiritually, due to the fact that I'm featuring him in this video by covering one of his videos that he actually covered on ether or space, just so I can simplify it up for you guys who are watching. So let's get right into it, alright? But once again, I am pretty much able to perceive or witness some various different ethereal beings right now, or spatial beings. Very fascinating, okay? Mystical experience or perception is quite the fascinating phenomenon, which I want to get you guys on. I want to get you in connection with the ether or space as the fifth element, in order to be able to do things like witnessing spatial beings or aliens, or even using telepathy, or even culminating spiritual connections with anybody who is also spiritual in nature. All of these things are different mystical abilities of being tuned into the ether or having a strong spatial awareness. So let's get right into it, and let's have Sadhguru talk on ether or space as the fifth element. Okay?
So even now, you think the world looks this way simply because that's how it's projected in your mind. If you evolve this mind to a more refined surface, that there's absolutely no any kind of wavering in it, it is perfectly plain mirror, then it will reflect everything the way it is, but upside down.
Namaskaram, Sadhguru. Sadhguru, one of the 5 elements, Panchabhuta, is Akasha, space, and in one of your YouTube videos, I've heard you, you say ether, you mention ether about space in Akasha. So once you, in your talk now, in time travel, you talk about space. So this ether and Akasha, I'm a bit confused. Can you please elaborate on the ether part?
I'm glad you're confused. Because confusion is a much better state to be than stupid conclusions that one makes. Confusion means you're still looking. That's nice. That's my intent, to keep you confused. Yeah, because I want you to be seeking, always. Nobody said Akasha is space, we said Akash is ether. That's not an appropriate translation, but reasonably. Ether is not space, ether is a certain dimension of existence, subtle. When we say space, we are talking about kala or non-existence. We are talking about Shiva, that which is not. When we say Akash, we are talking about that which is. Here you are.
I couldn't believe the salary and jobs that I was getting straight out of high school without any college experience. Anyone could do it.
Here you are. Here you are as a human being. There are many levels from grossness to subtleness here. If you have constipation, you still have something gross inside you. Above that, there is a little more refined aspects of body. Above that, there is a lung full of air. Above that, there's a brain and thought and emotion and so many things. And there is life going in and out. And there is Akasha involved. There is water, there is physical material, there is air, there is temperature, there is fire, and there is Akash which makes this. Don't try to understand that, just get this right, because this is a mini cosmos. So if you perceive this right, you know that because today there is no question about this anymore. We've always been saying this in the yogic dimension. But today modern physics has come up with what is called as the constructional theory, which is talking about how the design factor in the universe, whether it's atomic or cosmic, is fundamentally same design. You as a human being with this kind of form, a grasshopper, an earthworm, a bird, a crawly creature somewhere, all of you have same fundamental design. From atomic to cosmic, the fundamental design is same. The complexity and sophistication of how this design evolves into multiple forms is different. Your design is far more complicated and sophisticated compared to that of an amoeba, but the fundamental design is still same. Only the complexity is increasing. So you don't go about trying to observe the cosmos because you don't have a gallery view of the cosmos. You cannot. There's no place where you can sit and observe cosmos. And in fact, you cannot observe anything except what happens within you. Even if you take a telescope and look at the star is happening only the way it projects in your mind, isn't it? Yes? You don't see any star. This is the reason why you see stars which don't actually exist. Many stars that you see don't exist, but they're projected in your mind in a certain way and that's how you know it. Or in other words, you only can experience this, or this is the only doorway through which you can experience anything. Whether you want to experience the food that you eat, or the air that you breathe, or the people around you, or the world around you, or the cosmos, you can only experience it the way this is. If this is very clear, you will see it the way it is. If it has taken many forms and shapes, you will see it in so many different ways. These days, I think largely the mirrors have gotten flat, you know. Even now, I think if you buy some cheap mirror, you will look like this. So, the mirrors give different impressions of who you are. Suppose you always looked at your face with a slightly distorted mirror. After some time, you will assume that's how you look. Yes or no? Yes or no? You think that's how you look, because every day you looked at yourself and that's how you looked, and you think that's how you look. So even now, you think the world looks this way simply because that's how it's projected in your mind. If you evolve this mind to a more refined surface, that there's absolutely no any kind of wavering in it, it is perfectly plain mirror, then it will reflect everything the way it is, but upside down. You know, in the mirror, everything is like this. So now you must have the intelligence to correct this without distorting it. See, most people can't turn a dosa around properly. If they try to turn the dosa around, it'll become those kind of things. It takes certain skill to take something like this and turn it around without distorting it. So this is the problem with the mind. One thing is, already it is wavy or choppy, whichever way you kept your mind, but it is definitely wavy. You're seeing the world in the wavy mirror and it's looking certain way. And most people have never attempted to turn it around because they think that's how it is. When you want to turn it around, it takes a certain amount of skill to be able to turn it around without distorting it. So you have two problems. One is to first flatten the mirror so that it is undistorted, and now a much bigger task of wanting to flip it around without any distortion. So that is… we have not approached that in your life yet. First to make the mirror absolutely without distortions. We still working on that one. Is this air very much a part of you as a life? Those who do not say anything, we're going to throttle you. Your life is spread all over here, isn't it? This is physical. Even in this physical, there are many levels of crudeness and subtlety, isn't it? There are very gross elements in the body, there are subtler elements in this body, there is thought, there is emotion, there is air that you breathe. Or in other words, life is always from a hardcore crudeness to many subtleties. Depends how much you spread, that is how much subtlety you have in your life. How wide your wings spread, that much of subtlety is possible. So now what we're referring to as Akasha is a subtle dimension of life. If you suck out the Akasha, you cannot exist here. If we suck out the air from this hall, you cannot exist here. Though you cannot see it, still it is more vital than your hair, I'm sorry.
He's a rhymer. He's literally… he's better.
There are two types of lizard or reptilian kind of beings.
Because there is more money spent on hair care on the planet. Definitely a lot more than the brain care. You see where our values are. If you pull out all your hair, you can still live. If I cut your ears, you can still live. If I cut your nose, you can still live. If I just suck out this air that you cannot even see, most of the time you're not even conscious whether it exists or not. If I suck out the air, you cannot live for a moment, isn't it? If we suck out the Akasha, you cannot live for a moment. There is a there's a temple in Karnataka, in southern India, which is called the Annapurneshwari temple. Anybody from Karnataka? You been to Annapurneshwari? So, at the rear part of the temple where most people may not go, because I am always poking into nooks and corners, others are all happy looking at the goddess. There is an inscription in Hale Kannada, that means the old type of Kannada, which is over 3,000 years old. There's an inscription talking about how to design an airplane in a temple. And they're saying, you can do like this, but if you fly these machines, it will disturb the ether in the planet. If it disturbs the Akasha, when they say Akasha, don't think space. When they're saying if you disturb the Akasha, then human beings will not know peace in their life. Once Akasha is disturbed, then psychological disturbances will become enormous. I think you're a living proof. If we suck out the Akasha, this physical body will not exist for a moment. So when we say Akasha, we are still talking about 5 elements. As you yourself in the question you mentioned, among the 5 elements, Akash is one. So when we say elements, we are not talking about empty space. We are talking about one more substance. Like earth, like water, like air, like fire, we are talking about one more aspect of 5 elements. So do not mistake Akash for empty space.
Okay. So… now, what have we learned about Aether, which is also Akash, which is the 5th element? I pretty much found out that it isn't actually space, and space and Aether or Akash are different, okay? But Aether is 100% the 5th element, and it allows you to pretty much access more mystical dimensions or just subtler dimensions of existence, which is pretty much a unique phenomenon in itself, you know. But it's pretty much like the fact that we can't see air, but we need it to continue living. We can't really see Aether or Akash, but we need it to continue living because it's literally a fundamental aspect to the form that the universe takes, okay? But it does, when brought into awareness and balanced out and cleansed within your body, the Akash or Aether will allow you to pretty much access more mystical dimensions of experience, which is very, very fascinating, which is why they were pretty much showing the various different astral travels of the superhero Doctor Strange with the movie, you know, because it's all about the mystical dimensions of experience or the spiritual dimensions via getting in tune with the Akash or the Aether. So I'm going to keep it simple for you guys, and I'm going to end it right there. I hope you did enjoy the feature of Sadhguru and the conscious connections with Sadhguru and all of the various different jokes and whatnot, banter that went on, the rapping, the rhyming, you know, the poetry, and the explanations of Aether. So make sure to support the channel, and I actually did just set up my Patreon, and it is in the description, and you can literally become a Patreon for as little as $3 to $5 a month and get access to exclusives. So make sure to check that out in the description. So subscribe over here to the left of me and help me reach 100 subscribers. Drop a like on the video to the right of me and support the channel. Once again, generate some static electricity from the etheric body or the fifth elemental body, okay? And even the first layer of the aura. It needs to be strengthened and realized for the collective rise in consciousness. Love you guys. Have a great day and peace out. Also, make sure to check out Sadhguru on YouTube or get some of his books if you are into it, into mysticism, yoga, finding a guru, you know, any of those. So, yeah, have a great day, guys. Peace out.